I am so looking forward to this next conversation because it concerns some people that I really and truthfully do love. And I think what we're about to talk about is of interest to you. And I want everybody to be aware of this. The Trinidad and Tobago premiere of Queen of the Road, the Calypso Rose musical, a production celebrating the life and legacy of the legendary Calypso Rose, will have a gala opening at the Central Bank Auditorium next month. Now, the event is being held under the patronage of our president, Christine Kangaloo. It's written and directed by my friend Rhoma Spencer and presented by Yes Productions. Queen of the Road opens May 10th at 7:30 p.m. And other shows, of course, will be held May 11th, May 12th at 6:30 p.m. But I think this is going to be an ongoing thing. I have the pleasure now of welcoming to Caribbean Corner my friend Rhoma Spencer. Hi, Rhoma. Welcome to Caribbean Corner. I'm excited.
Hello, Ian, and I want to say hello to all the folks out there tuning into Caribbean Corner. It's Caribbean Corner, right?
That's right. It's called Caribbean
Caribbean,
Corner.
Carib-
We sit in
Caribbean
the
Corner.
corner. I
So
would have wanted to have called it Caribbean Stoop, but but we don't have stoop in the Caribbean, you know.
yeah,
We
or the
have corner.
Caribbean Junction, Caribbean.
Caribbean Junction would have worked also.
Yeah. So I want to say hello to all the folks across the Caribbean tuning into Caribbean Corner.
How did this begin for you?
The idea of a Calypso Rose musical really dates way back to around 1995 thereabout, when I did Bassman, the Calypso, a musical based on Mighty Shadow, right? It was a shadow musical called Bassman. And in the program, I said that we will be doing the next year, we will be doing Fire, the Calypso
Mm.
Rose musical. Of course, that didn't happen, and it took a whole other, well, it will be in another we moved from the 90s to the 2000s. So we're looking at another century, right? In the
Right, right.
yeah, the
Yes, yes.
2000s, it happened in the 2000s. I was able to revisit it through two inspirations. One, I saw Tina, the musical in London on London's West End some
Ah,
years ago, which tells the story of Tina Turner. And of course, the story is told using the discography of her music. It's what you call a jukebox musical.
right.
So I was like, I should revisit this idea of doing Calypso Rose musical. So I kind of put it in the back of my head. And then by around 2018, when she won the Victoire de la Musique Award in Paris, which is the French Grammys, right?
Mm-hmm,
And
mm-hmm.
all the what seems like a whole revival of Calypso Rose in the last, let's say, in the last 10 years.
Yes.
That was also an inspiration. And as I said, once she won that French Grammy, it started to percolate in my head that this is the time to do the musical. And it was in 2019, I visited with her in New York, January 2019. Visited with her in New York, stay at her home for 2 days, and just interviewing her, talking about her life, her journey from childhood, coming out from Tobago, the move to Trinidad, and her struggles and triumph in the calypso industry. I returned to Toronto, and then I'm at a place now where I have to start writing because you have all this research on your hand. So you
I
need
could
to
just
start.
imagine.
Yeah, so you need to start writing. And then I found that I started to ask myself a couple questions. Would this be a project that Canadian funders will fund? Here I am telling the story of a Trinidadian icon, musical icon. Is there sufficient Canadian content in this, more than I am a Trini Canadian, that they will see it fit to fund this?
Mhm.
And the more I ask the question, is the more coming up with news. And and I kind of put it on the back burner until 2022. I had the opportunity to apply for the artist in residency at the Queer Trans and Research Lab at the University of Toronto as its artist in residence for 1 year, one academic year. And I had to think long and hard, okay, what project I'm going to use. I thought of Godfrey Seeley. And then I had this aha moment, Ian. I realized that the album which she won the Grammy, the French Grammy for, was produced in Toronto.
Oh,
The backup singers are my friends, and they were the backup singers on the album. It was
wow.
produced in Toronto with the likes of Gonzalez, of the band Kobotong, Drew Gonzalez. It's one of the main producers on it. And that was where, there and then, I found my Canadian spin and Canadian content to feel confident enough that Canadian funders will fund this. So I applied.
Right.
So I applied, and that's the rationale I gave to the university, and they buy into it immediately. I mean, I was shortlisted, one of three people, and I was chosen as the artist in residence. And I had one academic year to work on writing the script, and it was presented as a workshop showcase last June to bookend my residency at it was showcased at Hart House Theatre. And I must say that when I had the idea of beginning to write this thing, I had the idea that the girl that I wanted to play Calypso Rose was Stacey Sobers, the NWAC Calypso Queen of 2018. And she was one of the only two female finalists this year in the Dimanche Gras. And when I approached her to do it, she said to me that they call her Young Rose because people think and find she looks like Rose. And I was in
Wow.
shock. I was in shock because,
Wow.
yeah, one of the reasons I chose her is because I really find she do look like Rose, and she, kind of also sound like Rose. Then once I started to develop the work, I felt the need to utilize Tobagonians as well because that's where Rose is from,
Of
and
course, that's the root right there.
yeah, and there's this Tobago Performing Arts Company was doing really great work, and I felt that I wanted them to be part of the process of developing the work and bringing members from the company in. So we did the approach to the company, and the courtesy of the Tobago House of Assembly, they sent 4 members from the Tobago Performing Arts Company: the director,
Wow.
the artistic director, the choreographer, and 2 actors, and they were all part of the process in presenting the performance in Toronto last June. And that's the evolution of Queen of the Road, the Calypso Rose musical.
When you took it to Calypso Rose, when you told her this thing was happening, what was her reaction?
Well, she was very excited and always supportive of it, even in the midst of when there was some kind of crisis going on with her management. All right, she gave it, her blessings, and she even said to her lawyer, that she she has Rhoma has her full support of this, and
Leave
then
Roma alone. Leave Roma alone.
yeah,
I could
and
just
he
hear her. You see that?
yeah.
Leave that alone. Leave Roma alone.
And he even said, look, Roma, I don't want to over lawyer the project. I'll never forget him for saying that. Such a lovely phrase. I don't want to over lawyer it. Anyhow, so she was always very supportive of it, even during, always kept her abreast and of all that was going on. And I must say that part of my residency at the university is that in October, right at the top of the term, I organized as well a Calypso Rose symposium where we had different academics and arts practitioners presenting on Rose, just riffing on Calypso Rose, and that was highly successful. So she was aware of all of that, and when we started to rehearse in Toronto, we called her, and she was able to hear Stacey sing "I Thank Thee," which is one of the first
Wow.
songs sung in the musical, and it brought tears to her eyes. She said she cried. She was just overwhelmed by it. Yeah, and she can't, as she said in her statement recently for the press, that she can't wait to be there in Trinidad.
So let's remind our friends, Roma. It's the Calypso Rose musical again. Let everybody know time, place, dates, and how they can get tickets.
Sure. So you can get your tickets starting from April 2nd, which is Tuesday. You can get $100 off your ticket price. And you know, everybody want to save a dollar now. So you have
Mhm.
until the 6th. It's not for long. From April 2nd to April 6th, $100 off the price of your tickets, early bird sale. And you can get them on islandtix.com, island tickets or islandtickets.com. Ticket outlet Crosby. Yeah, Crosby's
Of course, you
in
got to have Crosby's there, right?
St. James, Kenny's, Queen Street, Port of Spain, Trinity Mall, West Mall. There's also Disco Mart in Tunapuna, Michelle's in Rhoma, and Extra Foods in Endeavour, as you
That's in
know,
Chaguanas.
Chaguanas in the central, Grand Bazaar, and Athlete's by the Sea in San Fernando. It's only online, if I'm not mistaken, that you're getting those $100 ticket off. Yeah.
Okay, so people go get your tickets. Roma, again,
And
it's a
and
pleasure.
and and, and
And
let me also reiterate that the gala premiere on the opening with the, of course, the president, honorable,
Christine
well,
Kangalo.
yes, will be in attendance. And it's also, as you said earlier, it's under her patronage. Those tickets are $500, with part proceeds goes to a foundation of which I am a patron of, which is the Black Color Creative Foundation, a foundation that gives back to artists and creatives for the work that they want to do. So, we're also, raising funds as well for this foundation. Yeah.
Beautiful. Roma,
Yes.
I wish you all the best. I cannot wait to see it. And if I
Yeah.
can, I will fly into Trinidad just for a night to be up there. Yeah,
I think
maybe.
I think I think you should.
Yes.
I'm waiting to see who's the New York posse coming in.
All right. See,
Yes.
put it right in my lap. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Well, all the very best, and thanks for talking with us here on Caribbean
Yeah.
Corner. We look forward to seeing it. Calypso Rose, the musical tickets are on sale April 2nd. Get them at the advertised outlets at islandtickets.com. Again, Queen of the Road, May 10th, 7:30 p.m. And there will be other shows May 11th, May 12th. But boy, pack that place from top to bottom and give Roma some extra work so she will have to add extra shows. Thank you.
And those shows, the 11 and 12 shows are at 6:30 p.m. So
6:30. All right, great.
yes, yeah, yeah.
All right. Well, thanks for
Mother's
talking
Day
with us, Roma.
weekend.
Bless.
And I want to emphasize, bring out your mothers to come see the story of the Queen Mother of Calypso on Mother's Day weekend.